Sunday, Bulls Nation. Peck here. We got a live CHGO Bulls coming up for y'all right around the corner. Bulls fall to DeMar DeRozan and the Kings in his homecoming game in heartbreaking fashion. 124-119 was the final. Crucial, costly 5-second violation for the Bulls with 14 seconds left. We're breaking it down. Coming up next.
Oh, so you're picking Zach.
Oh, yeah.
You're going with the Kings. Okay.
I follow the golden rule, Will. They are currently 2 under. They can't be 1 under.
They got to
That's against the rules.
Okay, they got to get back to 3 under.
They will go back to 3.
Got to get back.
Might go back up to 2 again before going back down to 4, but they can't go to 1 under. I will sit here in postgame Sunday afternoon and admit to all of you that I was wrong if I am wrong and the Bulls beat the Kongs.
Okay.
I don't think I will.
Howdy, y'all. Welcome into CHGO Bulls postgame. Coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Peck, always right. Bulls_Peck. That is Big Dave. Bam! BAWL Sports. Uncle Will, 4-time champ. Will_Perdue, 32 in the building. And Queen of the Controls, kind enough to clip that off for me and for all of you out there in Bulls Nation. The one and only Katie Duffy. Bulls fall to the Kings 124-119 because of course they do. They were 2 games under. We all knew that L was coming. It was just a matter of how it would get there. And it was pretty dramatic fashion. Big Dave, you were saying you were enjoying the Kings kind of trimming into that Bulls lead at the end of the third because you wanted a back and forth fourth quarter. And we really had a back and forth game from start to finish. But man, how awesome, especially that sequence, like middle of the fourth, where Zach and DeMar were just going back and forth, crazy bucket after crazy bucket. It was awesome.
It was what I wanted. I wanted a close game. But I wanted a close game from this team because that's what it deserves to be. When you have DeMar DeRozan coming on his first night back at the United Center, when you've been seeing Zach LaVine on the tear that he has been on, Lonzo Ball getting in the form, Aaron Fox out there, Sabonis having like 23 and 28, for games, like, and Malik and just how much of a scorer that he is. Vooch, and you've seen the tear he's been on all season, and the record of these 2 teams, are pretty much the same, except Kings up a little bit more, but they're kind of the same team. But I feel the Kings definitely have more talent on their squad. Like, they're just a talented team. But when that third quarter was ending, that's all I kept saying was, please, just get this to 3, and so we can have fun in the fourth quarter. I wanted fun in that fourth quarter. And that is exactly what we all got. Back and forth, those teams kept going. Big bucket after big bucket, tough shot after tough shot. Solid defensive stop on one end, alley-oops on the other end. Like, this game had it all, especially in that fourth quarter. And usually play this kind of game. You've been watching all season. This is kind of how they play. They get down to that fourth quarter. It's always a close game. And as of late, as of more recent, they've been pulling them out more than often. Remember that double overtime game when DeMar DeRozan went crazy. But early on, they weren't pulling them out. But now they've got a new coach, just a new feel and a new energy. So they've been pulling those games out right now. And, yeah, I got the fun I wanted and the loss I wanted. So, yeah, it was great.
And, Perdue, you were saying
that fourth quarter was kind of winding up. Like, the Bulls played a really clean game. They played a strong game offensively. They kept the turnovers down, and it's kind of, I guess a little bit of a bummer and a little bit unexpected that after such a clean game, what really put the last nail in their coffin, down 3 with the ball, 14 seconds left. They could have gone with a live ball scenario. The shot clock was off. Billy elects to call a timeout. In fact, he was like cartwheeling out to center court to get
Timeout.
I'm open.
And in the ensuing inbounds play, you got Josh Giddey, one of the best inbounds play passers in the game,
Slop.
getting called for what may have arguably been a bit of a quick 5-second violation. That was a quick 5 seconds from my eyes. But
I wish they would have replayed that.
did it seem quick to you?
Yes, but then when I saw the official hit that last mark with his hand, I was like, oh, I saw it coming. And then that's when I turned to you guys and said, hey, did they have a timeout? And then when you looked under the Bulls logo, you're like, no, they did not.
No.
So
No.
you know, that was unfortunate. Because what I shared with you guys when I came in, I was like, you know, the ironic thing was I was there, you know, today watching the game, and every time that I looked up at the scoreboard, I could have sworn because of how the game was being played and the body language of the two teams that the Bulls were up.
Yeah.
And like, oh, they're down 1. How is that possible? They just seem to be like they're playing too well.
Yeah.
And we kept, you know, and the guys I was with, we kept commenting on, it just seems like the Bulls should be up in this game, but they're not. And it was just kind of ironic. A friend of mine that was there was like, defense is optional in this game.
Very much so.
At least it was in the first 3 quarters.
Yeah.
But
and a little in the fourth.
if you look at the numbers, I mean, basically the lowest scoring quarter for both teams was the fourth. Now, those that aren't necessarily NBA fans will be like, see, that's what I don't like about the NBA. You know, they just, okay, the fourth quarter starts and they start to take it seriously. But it just, it's something, it's an issue.
Yeah.
But, you know, listen, I came out of that game and just like, listen, it was a good game by the Bulls. They competed. Peck is happy because they lost.
He ain't the only one.
More so because I'm right, but yes, also that.
But I saw the effort that I was expecting from the get-go, right? And I will say that the Kings looked a little sluggish in that first quarter because I talked about a little bit of a hangover from that, you know, overtime win against Boston. But also, I thought the Kings had a great strategy early on. They were double-teaming Zach every time he touched the ball. How many times did they jump on screen rolls and Zach, you know, that one time he almost got a backcourt violation, had to call timeout. Another time they jumped him. He struggled to get rid of the ball, you know, and it took precious time off the clock. And then they didn't do it.
What's your friend's
in the second half? Charlie. So I found that interesting. But, you know, another great game by Zach. The team as a whole with no Kobe, with no Io. You know, and Lonzo played really well, shot the ball well.
His first start of the season, first start since coming back from his injury.
What 3 years, right?
Yeah. What did you make of that? I was curious if Billy, because he kind of went with Lonzo in the starting lineup for the first time, would up his minutes. Lonzo ended up playing 26, which I think might have been a season high because they've been trying to keep him like 22. He's maybe gotten to 23 or 24 once, but I think he continued to play just stellar basketball. 5 of 8 from downtown for Lonzo today. Yeah, most threes he sank this season.
He got it going early, too. He got it going in that first quarter. I was very interested to see what that would look like with Giddey and Lonzo Ball playing together as starters, just to see how those games kind of collide because they're both facilitators. Lonzo, I would say, is more facilitator first than anything. And Giddey, he's also a facilitator, but he also looks for his shot a lot as well because he likes going to the bucket. And, you know, Crash Bandicoot kind of style of point guard that he plays because he's going in to get rebounds and to cause havoc on that offensive end where, you know, we know Lonzo to be a little bit more smooth, a little more cerebral when he's watching that. I think the main thing, Matt, even when we were watching it very early, is when he noticed that Vooch had that mismatch with Keegan Murray on him and he's backing him down and he kicks it out to Lonzo and Lonzo threw it right back to him. Like, what are you doing? No.
Repost.
Go to work. Go to work. I love a good repost. And I feel like good point guards always kind of do that kind of thing. So that was cool to see.
Right.
But just to see Lonzo out there just be spry. I keep using the word spry for a guy like him. It's really cool to see. But I thought Giddey also played a really good game. 12 points, like you mentioned, the 11 rebounds and the 7 assists. It's a good game for Josh Giddey. Not too many threes, you know, 1 of 2 not too many shots. Only took 9 of those, hit 4 of them. He was a +2 overall. I thought it worked well together for those two in the way they played. Granted, the backcourt they went against isn't a defensive stalwart,
right?
In Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah,
but in general, that's still a legit NBA backcourt right there, and they held their own against them. I thought.
No, they did a great job. And listen, I want to also. I know he plays for Sacramento, but I want to compliment Malik Monk.
Oh, please do.
And this is just a personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was a little too cocky when he was with Charlotte.
Okay. You weren't the only one. There's a lot of people who thought that. Sure.
I think he just thought he was going to be, the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
Love that expression.
He had some nice games, but he wasn't the player that I think he thought he was going to be.
Right.
He was kind of one-dimensional at the time. And I think he was humbled.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he learned his lesson because he is a different player with the Sacramento Kings.
He's also playing with ex-teammate from college in De'Aaron Fox.
Yep.
They mentioned, I think Adam mentioned, they switched numbers once they got there in Sacramento together because De'Aaron used to wear number 0 and Malik was wearing number 5. They switched those numbers just to show you their compatibility. You know what I mean? They really like each other. So, yeah, I think that shows when they're on the floor. That kind of matters when you got that kind of friendship like that on the floor. And, it leads to you being able to talk without speaking. Kind of like me and Matt, doing stuff. Like, we don't really have to talk on certain things. We just look at each other and be like, okay, this is what we have to do. So, yeah, it's really cool, and it's working for them very well. And I want to give love to Doug Christie, too, because he walked into a really tough situation, man. And he's really, really showcased his coaching ability and skill with this team. Because if anybody knows what it is to be a Sacramento King, it's Doug Christie and what they've gone through.
He's basically between playing, broadcasting. He's lifelong.
Lifer. He's a lifer like that. So, yeah, I really, just want to give him kudos for what he's done and just how good he has been for Sacramento so far. I hope it continues for him, man. He's a good guy.
I wanted to comment on something.
Okay.
Vincent, right there.
If we are going to trade that one?
Yeah.
If we're going to trade LaVine, we should include Javon, Torrey Craig, or THT in the deal?
Not so much that, but somebody made a point to me the other day that if we're going to trade Vooch and or Zach, they better do it soon. For 2 reasons. I mean, Zach's number 1 is playing the best basketball I think he's ever played.
He's at his peak right now.
That he's been because
unreal.
And most of it I think is attributed to the fact that he's actually healthy.
Yes.
Number 1.
Yes.
Okay. Number 2, and I don't mean this like he's fallen off a cliff, but Vooch is starting to lose a little steam.
He's not as insanely efficient as he was for the first month and a half of the season. I think we all expected those numbers to regress to the means a little bit.
Correct.
Right. But they showed that stat at the end. I think Vooch is actually second in the league to Sabonis in double-doubles.
Yes.
And then what was it he had today? It was only 8 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to say that he's playing poorly. I'm not saying that whatsoever, but you're trying to trade somebody at their peak.
Yes.
And I think, unfortunately, we were talking about, in my opinion, is this guy still is at a point where he deserves an all-star nod on a coach's bid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, that being said, I think Zach is starting to is not trying, but is because of how he's playing, is taking some of the luster off Vooch's star.
Yeah.
Because I think that as coaches and, how they decide, the guys coming off the bench, if anything, coaches will look at, well, the Bulls probably deserve somebody from the all-star. Somebody needs to be on the all-star team.
Mm-hmm.
They're good enough because they're, top 10 that they should have an all-star player. But I don't think any of them are going to think about, well, they deserve 2 guys.
Probably not.
So they probably deserve 1. Early on, that was probably Vooch. Right now, you got to think that now all of a sudden maybe they're like Zach LaVine, 6 straight games, 30-plus. Is Giannis the only other one in the league that's done that? Did I see that correctly?
To have 6 straight games of 30?
6. Well, I think Giannis has got like 7, 8, or 9.
I know that
of
the list for 5 straight with 30 was short. It was like Zach, Giannis, Joker.
I think 6 or more now is down to 2.
A couple others. And
Giannis and Zach, I think.
That could be it.
That's crazy.
We got to take our first break right there. We come back. Plenty more on tonight's Bulls loss to the Kings. We'll get to some of y'all's comments out there hanging out on YouTube. Hit the like button if you haven't done it yet. A lot of people talking about Zach, some of the late game stuff, some of the fourth quarter stuff. We will get all that on the other side. Listen to these words from our friends and sponsors. CHGO Bulls postgame today brought to you by our friends at Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, who are here to help you elevate and survive your Chicago winter. Roads are gross. I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's okay, though, because Sunnyside's here for me and here for y'all. Sunnyside's your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping. They've got a crazy selection. I'm talking over 100 different strains to choose from. Hybrids, sativas, indicas, whatever you prefer.
Morsels.
Easy online ordering and in-store pickup to make your shopping experience super easy and super helpful. Stop into the store nearest you throughout Illinois for expert guidance from their staff. Select from quality lines like Cresco and FloraCal. Also, for a limited time, you got to check out the huge variety of Island Vibes products they have available in disposable vapes, 510 carts, live resin gummies.
Yep.
Check out Next Level Staycations, Destination Relaxation, Puff Puff Paradise.
Yeah, man.
Try them all. Visit Sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. That's 50% off your first 3. Deals on deals on deals. Just use promo code HICHGO at checkout. Again, HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day, only for 21 and over, and Illinois Med Card holders.
I got a text from Baby Joey, man.
I love texts from Baby Joey.
Yeah, he let me know that Joey was at the game because he hit you up.
Yeah, his uncle Joey was at the game today.
Yeah.
And just tweeted at me, just at Bulls_Peck with a picture of iced Cuppy on the Jumbotron.
Yeah.
Just trying to trigger me.
He did.
Like the little jerk that he is.
Yeah, because he understands what gets under Matt's skin.
He really does.
Sometimes they never understand.
Never understood.
They never understood. Why? How come it cost so much money to look so damn cool?
I don't know.
Unless you're Will Perdue. It don't cost that money to be that damn cool. But guess what? Shady Rays thought the same thing. They said we're going to do something about that. So get ready for the season ahead with those quality shades that are built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have got you covered with those premium polarized shades that will not break the bank. Shady Rays, that independent sunglasses company, offering that world-class product that is rated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars for over 300,000 people. Their shades got those durable frames. Their shades have got those crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for your outdoor. And as this mustache gentleman will prove to you, your indoor adventiones. He made a house because he's inside of it.
That's right.
That's right. Plus, let's say you got your shades on your hat and you toss that hat.
Oh, shoot.
Anger, hat toss. There
Rage.
it is. Oh, glasses
Rage.
broken apart. Anger, red, all
no.
that fire coming out his face. It's crazy. But then he comes back to earth because he remembers his glasses are shattered. So now his heart is shattered. But then he's repaired because he immediately remembers he can send it right back in the Shady Rays. And guess what? Slap right back on his face. Fresh pair of glasses. As long as he done it within 30 days, worry-free returns is what you're going to get, ladies and gentlemen. So, exclusively for the listeners out there, Shady Rays is giving away their best deal of the season. Head to ShadyRays.com. Use the code CHGO for 35% off those premium polarized shades. And try it for yourself. The shades that are rated 5 stars. Well, over 300,000 people because Shady Rays, y'all. With a raise are oh so shady.
Oh, so damn shady. Rolling right along. CHGO Bulls postgame. Bulls follow the Kings.
Give it a like.
Hit that like. Do it for Katie. Do it for Baby Joe. Do it for Troll Joe, who's always around there lurking. Paul said we need more Jamaican Dave. It's Jamirish.
Jamirish.
Get it right.
Top of the morning to you, man.
So as Uncle Will was talking about Zach LaVine's All-Star bid right before the break and whether or not he's maybe kind of overtaking Vooch's resume as a potential All-Star reserve this season, I see people kind of on either side of the fence as far as what they saw from Zach in this game, and particularly down the stretch. Johnny Pigeon, Zach finished the game reminding everyone why DeMar was taking the last shots the last 3 years. Third time in the comments said, this is what happens when they value Zach's 30-point game over assists at pivotal moments. I'm not sure I agree with that. I saw somebody else was talking about Zach not getting calls, the refs swallowing their whistles when Zach was attacking the basket down the stretch of that game. Zach did have 2 late drives where, look, if Zach's going to put the ball on the floor and get to the basket, which he was doing well throughout this game tonight, yeah, he had his 3-ball falling, but he was attacking.
Yes.
And he was cutting through that Kings defense like a hot knife through butter.
Hot knife.
And so I'm not going to fault Zach for driving on a couple of those late possessions when the Bulls were down a possession, down 2 possessions. He didn't get the calls. I don't think it was necessarily Zach doing the Zach of old thing where he tries to put an emphasis on drawing contact and drawing a foul and doing the A thing.
Right.
I genuinely think he was trying to get buckets at the rim. He just missed a couple when he got to the basket. He missed a couple layups. But I'm like, you can miss me with any Zach LaVine criticism on a night when he dropped 30-plus for the 6th straight game. He shot 12 of 24 from the field, 5 of 8 from 3, a perfect 7 of 7 at the free throw line, chipped in 10 boards, 4 dimes, and only turned it over twice.
Get mad, Matt.
Like, you really going to criticize Zach LaVine after that game because the Bulls didn't get the dub? DeMar did king of the 4 things. That's what he does. DeMar also missed a lot of open looks and a lot of looks that he usually makes tonight. So we crucify Zach and not DeMar because the Kings get the W? Come on, man. Zach played a hell of a game today.
You better cook. You better cook on them, Matt Peck.
Stop
that is
it.
a fact right there. None of this is on Zach LaVine. Matter of fact, when in the 4th quarter when they had the basketball, to with a few seconds left before Billy ran out and said, I want to be on the team, Zach LaVine had the ball in his hands. And was ready to go. Which is what I wanted, honestly. Yeah, just like that face. It was ready to go. And then Billy ran out and said there needs to be a timeout. And Zach was not pleased. And I wasn't either because I didn't understand the timeout. The momentum said, hey, we should just go. That's what it felt like it was saying. Zach felt it too, because when you're somebody you're that hot, you don't want to give them time to cool off. You don't want to give them a second to cool off. The man went on a 6-0 run by himself in the 4th quarter, man. He was on fire. And then what I loved about it, and I think Doug Christie said this, he called him a 4-tool scorer.
Yeah, I did. I saw that.
I never heard that before. He called him a 4-tool, Will, because he said he hits the deep 3, the mid-range, and can score at the rim. He did all of this tonight. Every single one of those things, Zach LaVine did that tonight, man.
That pull-up he had in transition to get his 30?
Oh, my God. Just vicious, man.
Just dumb.
Just putting guys on the wing, putting his hip on them, turning around, hitting fadeaways, and you just knew they were going in. And they were really difficult shots that he was just making look easy, smiling the whole time. You know what I mean? Got the family in attendance. Life was good for Zach LaVine. He was cooking, all right? And so, no, don't get mad. Don't be like, oh, I thought this tasted a little too salty. Get out my restaurant. All right, you don't belong in here because we only serving 5 stars, and that's exactly what Zach LaVine was doing tonight. 5-star chef, Will.
How's that go?
Get out my restaurant. You never heard that before. I know you ain't never heard that. You're like, I'm Will Perdue.
Mentioning that, did you ever do Dine and Dash?
No.
Have you?
Never.
Yeah.
I did do that once. I'm
What?
I'm
You
gonna be
didn't do
honest
that in
with
high
you guys.
school?
No, I never
No.
done Dash. No, never.
Speaking as someone who worked in the food and bev service industry for many years
Soapbox.
and respect the great staff of restaurants
Here we go.
and bars
Let's do it.
and know that they need to be treated with kindness and tipped properly.
Yes.
No, I have never and would never dine and dash. How dare you?
How dare you?
Some
be
people in this
ashamed.
country work hard for their money, Will.
It's not anybody on
I'm
this
sorry.
set.
Wait. Which one of us was
Tell you
laying
that
on the
much.
couch like 20 minutes
mean, there's
ago
only-
with his feet
I'm
up?
not saying now. I'm saying I used to work in restaurants.
There's only one of the 4 of us on this set that are working hard.
Katie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And she's not necessarily worrying hard. She's just worrying hard.
Worrying hard. Ooh, that's a bar right there. Will. That's a bar.
You know me too well.
That's a bar, sir.
Dine and dash.
Dine and
Get
Dash. How
outta
dare
here.
y'all, man?
Hey, when
You
you're
should go back to those restaurants and
Katie,
give them money.
Put a poll. Put a poll in the comments. Would you have you dine and dash? Yes or no?
No, we got to pick one.
Yes, we will crucify.
We got
all
to pick one. Would or have? What's your
No,
preference?
would.
Okay,
No, have you.
Have you.
Have you.
Have
Okay.
you
Yeah, I
dine
would
and dash
dash.
or not? Yes or no? And y'all in the comments vote honestly.
Yes.
Yeah,
I would
but
never
you
do
have
it
So we
to
can
do
now.
it
criticize all of you.
I did it when I was in high school.
That's
Well,
what,
it doesn't
that
matter
doesn't
the
make
time
it
you
okay.
do it. That's never
I
a
didn't
right
say
time.
it was okay.
How dare
I
you?
did a lot of dumb things when I was in high school. Some of them illegal.
Past
College
tense?
also.
But
And yesterday I did stupid.
but I did not dine and dash.
never
Okay.
did that. Someone
That's-
who worked in the
Now,
restaurant industry.
Here's another
We don't
thing.
do those things.
Here's something else for you. I'm curious if you guys let's take another poll.
Have you ever robbed a restaurant? No, Will.
You ever stuck
No.
on a bank?
Have you ever been to a buffet and asked not to come back?
No,
Never.
I don't think so.
Never.
I have.
You've been asked not to come back
Yeah.
because you ate everything.
Because you
That's
ate.
correct.
Shout out to
Well,
you.
I mean,
Will.
I respect
I'm proud
that.
of
I
you.
respect.
I respect you.
But
No,
you
they
were
used to
still
have-
behaving within the parameters of what you paid and what was open to you
Correct.
to
No, we
consume.
would, a buddy of mine, this, again, when I'm in high school, you got to remember when I was high school, man, I was pencil thin.
Okay.
And Kentucky Fried Chicken on Tuesdays used to have all you could eat for like $10.
Nice.
Buddy and I went in there, and we were probably in there for about an hour and a half, and all of a sudden the manager came in, gave us our money back, and asked us, please don't come back.
How long were y'all in there?
Like an hour and a half.
I mean, did it say all you can eat buffet?
Yeah.
Or okay, yeah. So it's not like you
You're
paid for
within
a
the
plate
rules.
and then bent some rules.
Yeah.
No, but
No, he abided.
and I credit them for giving us our money back. They
Yeah.
could have just said
You ate for free.
they could have kicked us out and told us not to come
Yeah.
back.
Right.
You literally ate for free.
It's like, isn't that a Simpsons episode where Homer goes to the
Yes.
seafood joint
Yes.
and just eats out their entire inventory?
More.
Hasn't gotten up from his seat the entire time, and they're
More.
like, "Yeah, we're out of business. You ate everything."
Oh, Will Perdue, I love learning from you. This is the best.
Dine and Dash is not cool, says Fish. Flip side saying, working in the restaurant industry is different. The movie Waiting is so on point. I used to bartend and serve back in the day. Oh, yeah, Waiting is
Yeah,
great.
Waiting is awesome, man. a
Fantastic.
documentary.
Fantastic movie. Easy saying, I just remember with my friends, we once stole a chair from McDonald's. Shame on me, but the chair was fine.
What'd you steal a chair for, bro? You know what? It's all right. You know, Easy's coming here too, by the way.
Easy
Easy's
coming to
also
town?
coming. He's coming in February. Easy
Let's
will be here in February. So,
go.
yes. Will Perdue is a heathen.
Look, I got to say, for the record, whenever we all go out and have a meal together these days, Uncle Will's picking up the tab.
I know why now.
Kindly.
He feels guilty.
Well,
That's why he's doing it.
Is
He
that
feels
what it
very
is?
Guilty now. His shame, his dark shame.
All right, now here's let's do it. We can do another poll. This is what I also found out.
Will, call for one more poll. I swear to God. I'm going to go
I
insane.
told you Katie's working hard. See?
Yeah, they worry hard. That's what they do. What's
So-
your other poll, Will?
I've learned that people at pizza restaurants will, close to closing time, will have one of their buddies call in and order a pizza and not pick it up.
Okay.
So then you know who gets the pizza?
Me.
The employees.
Oh. No, see, what I do is I go in when it's 10 minutes to close, and I ask them what they have available that they're not selling, and then get that at a deep discount and walk out like a cartoon dude with like 8 pizzas in my hand. I do it all. I've done it often. It works. I promise you. Do that. Just 10 minutes. And be nice about it, though. Don't be a jerk. 10 minutes, though. 10
You
minutes.
know who I think we should ask about this, though?
Should we ask the GOAT about it?
Will the Goat Gottlieb.
Okay, we're going to push our second ad break to a little bit later, bringing the GOAT right now for some GOAT talk. Let's go.
There's no way in hell Goat's done any of it.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Will learns from me so much. That's always been my
Joining
saying.
us on that GOAT Talk hotline, it's our one and only Will Go Gottlieb. Follow him for his Bulls updating and reporting. Will _ Gottlieb. Read his stuff, allchgo.com. Become a diehard to read all of it and the very best of it. GOAT, before we dive into this game, let's settle this. Dine and Dash, have you ever, would you ever?
No and no.
Thank you, my man.
That's why the quaff is like
Not
it is.
right. It's just not right.
Just
I wouldn't
not right.
expect that from GOAT. He's
Those
an angel.
Those people are hardworking and don't get paid enough.
Yeah.
This is my man.
Yeah.
And we all know that the GOAT could be a thrifty individual.
That's a nice
A
way to put it.
financially
Oh, that's so
responsible
kind.
individual.
Wow. Kind way. Well done.
And he is not trying to rob restaurants and the staff of said restaurants of their hard work. Speaking of hard work, GOAT, Zach LaVine was out there working hard tonight. So was DeMar DeRozan in a Kings jersey. That was weird. What was the headline for you in this one?
I mean, a couple. One, just DeMar coming back and the reception that he got, the video tribute, all the players just love him and kind of rave about him and the impact that he had on the locker room. And then also Lonzo Ball getting his first start in over 3 years. The way that he played, the way that he helps this team. It's a little bit of a challenge, I think, for Billy Donovan to manage a guy getting only 24 minutes a night as a starter, but he's great. He's been great, and it's awesome to see him back out there.
Yeah. Will, let's talk about the last play of the game. Billy Donovan running out to call that timeout, and then the 5-second call. Did you feel like the 5-second call was too quick? And what was being said about Billy actually taking that timeout?
Yeah, it was an interesting play, right? Because you get the ball, and Billy talked about it after the game. He was saying, like, typically I like when there's a broken play and you can kind of take advantage of people trying to set up in transition defense and having mismatches and things like that. But he said he felt like it got over to the corner. It was pushed over to the side too far, and he didn't like the spacing. So he wanted to get out there and call a timeout. He ended up running to, like, the very center of midcourt, which was pretty crazy. But he ended up calling the timeout. And you drop a play to try to get Zach the ball on the move where he can make a play either going downhill or stepping back. And yeah, I mean, it was a quick 5-second call. It was a 5-second call. I'm sure that will be on the last 2-minute report and cause some frustration or consternation. But as Vooch said after the game, I mean, that's a play in the game. It's not the reason why they lost the game. And I think there were probably too many opportunities. I mean, they were up 8 halfway through the third quarter, and they were playing really well. And you figure, like, if you're able to hold on, make some defensive stops, you're able to sustain that lead going forward. And then they just give it up and you're down 2 or whatever it was heading into the fourth. So obviously that one is a headliner, and you always remember the plays that are closer to the end of the game, but it is a collection of moments throughout the game that lead to the end result. And I think that was a tough break for them. Could they have probably gotten away with just not calling that timeout and letting them play? Maybe, but who knows? I mean, maybe they missed the shot anyway. So just kind of a tough break there, and we'll see what the last 2-minute report says.
Goat, have you ever been this clean shaven? I mean, the coif looks clean, the face looks clean.
Let's go.
I'm used to a little scrub.
I've been doing it.
He wanted to look extra handsome for DeMar today. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's right.
He said, we'll take that.
So, in a joking matter, what do you call it, Peck? The golden rule?
The golden rule.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes 2, sometimes 4, always 3, which is why I told these jokers at the end of postgame on Friday, ain't no way the Bulls are winning today.
Well, you can point that at Will because I never disagreed with him once on that rule. So he's just in his zone right now. So
Joker singularly.
Yeah, you feel me?
But, I came in because I was at the game today, and I commented to these guys that every time I looked up at the scoreboard, the Bulls were losing. If you would have asked me without looking, I thought for sure they were winning because of actually how well I thought they played offensively. Their defense needs work, but that's why we're in this situation where it seems somewhat confusing because it was a very enjoyable game. I mean, I haven't seen Matt Peck this happy in weeks. Enjoyable game, competitive game. Oh, they lost. That's terrible. But
Sweet spot.
Where do we go from here? I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out because I'd like to know, how are you looking at games before you write your stories?
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of 2 approaches, and I think this year maybe more than any other, it's harder to separate the bigger picture from the day to day. And I think in the past it's always been like, you have your opinions about what the long term should look like and how they're playing and where it's headed, but at the same point, like, they're committed to winning games. They've got this core of players together that is going for the playoffs, and there's stuff to learn from that. And I think this year, obviously, like, they're playing well, and Zach has been incredible, 6 straight 30-point games. He's playing like an all-star. Vooch, same. The way that he has been just so dominant and shooting the ball at such a high level. So I think there's things that you can always take away from the game itself. But I think this season, maybe more than others for me, has been difficult to separate that from the bigger picture because in some ways they are just in this holding pattern of like, can we figure out a way to move on from our vets and kind of transition more to a younger core And until that happens, like, we don't really know what we have. And so it is a challenge. I think there's things that you can take away from it, the way that Billy has coached this team and the identity that he has established. And then you try to kind of evaluate the growth of some of the younger players and how that has looked. But it's difficult when you're talking about 12 minutes a game for Modest, or, a couple of bad shooting nights for Patrick, when he's really more of a, role player, defensive, minded 3-and-D guy. And so it's hard to really know if there is more room for growth there. And I think that's one of the challenges that this front office faces, is like, you have a coach who is empowered to win as many games as he can, and a team that is looking towards the future. And those things are fundamentally opposing. And so that's a real challenge that I think they need to solve. But at a certain point, like, they can't if nobody wants to trade for these guys. And so what do you do if nobody wants them?
So out of curiosity, let's just act like everybody on the roster is healthy, okay? And their approach is they should be winning games, or they're attempting to win games, which the players have talked about and Billy's talked about integrity. I'm curious what you feel like, A, who should be the 5 starters, and B, what should the rotation be in your mind?
Starting, I know we've talked about this before. Starting players, I don't think really matters to me that much, because one, you've got a couple of players like Lonzo, for example, who's on a minutes restriction, and I think like he's probably like one of the more impactful players on this team. But like, if you really want to get him in those closing moments, then it's tough to do that with the minutes restriction. So it doesn't bother me that he's coming off the bench, but like, if they're going all out for wins, like, yeah, he would be in my closing 5. I think Io, Kobe, Zach, Vooch, and Lonzo might be it, just because that gives you the best combination of ball movement, defense, scoring, shooting, and I think you play around Vooch and the way that he can be sort of that offensive hub. You have the transition game with Lonzo and Io out there. You have the shooting. So I think that kind of lineup balance makes a lot of sense, but it's small, and it's, I think, a challenge to guard some of the bigger wings, although Io and Lonzo have done well at that in the past. But that's just the limitations with this team, and I think it goes back to the bigger picture of like, well, what are we really trying to accomplish here if you put together a team that doesn't really have, somebody that you can count on at the wing spot to be a good defender? And like, can you sustain this style of play long term? Do you need somebody to come in? And I think that's kind of the question that the Kings had to answer for themselves, is like, can they do the fast-paced run and gun stuff all the way through and year after year and into the playoffs? It's a tough challenge. And so now you incorporate DeRozan, but that also leads to other challenges of floor spacing, and defense is not really going to be much of an improvement there. So there's always going to be challenges, but I think the idea going into the season was, we're going to be young and fun and fast, and our defense is going to hold us back a little bit to where maybe we keep that pick. But it just hasn't really turned out that way, because Zach and Vooch have played at such a high level.
Goat, I know you touched on it a little bit at the beginning, but was there a specific comment from DeMar or any of his former teammates, or from Billy, about DeMar coming back, about DeMar's time here, that really stood out to you? Because, the video tribute was great. Obviously, DeMar got a great ovation. He acknowledged the crowd. And while the Bulls fell short of their goals for the 3 years that he was here, I think, they put up on the broadcast some of the stats of where he ranks all time. He's the Bulls' second all-time leading scorer points per game wise, behind the one and only MJ. This guy meant a lot while he was here for 3 years. So what was the one thing that stood out as far as everything that was said about him today?
I don't know that like there was anything Billy or Vooch or any of the players in the locker room could have said that they haven't already said. So it was actually most interesting to me to just listen to DeMar about his experience coming back. And he was saying that, like, it's always great to come back to an organization that loves you the way that the Bulls loved me. And he kind of compared it to his time with the Spurs and with the Raptors. And he said, Toronto's obviously always gonna be my number one. I was there for such a long part of my career, but coming back to Chicago, it really feels like number 2, because of just, they let me, and he's talking about like the first time he met with AK and Eversley, and he's like, they wanted me to be me. They wanted me to come in and kind of revitalize my career. He said it gave him more ambition and more inspiration to just come back and regain a level of play after being traded to the Spurs, where obviously he put up some great numbers, but I think that was a challenge for him personally to deal with the fact that the Raptors traded, a franchise icon for Kawhi Leonard to go win a championship without him. And I think coming to Chicago, it was kind of a fresh start. He was a mentor. The younger players love him. The older players just have so much respect for what he does and the way that he carries himself and the approach to the game. And so I think it was really just interesting to hear his perspective on coming back to a place. I mean, he was only here for 3 years, but he said it felt like 10 because just the amount of effort and energy that they invested into that group. And obviously it didn't turn out the way that they would have wanted, but I think he no doubt made an impact that goes beyond, the points per game leaderboard. I mean, the guys in the locker room, the relationships, all that stuff just has DeMar's imprint all over it.
Will, can you tell us about the Kobe injury that occurred, and is there any new update on Ayo Dosunmu and his injury?
Yeah, Ayo's rehab was fast tracked. I think they were trying to get him back for today, but then ultimately before last game they said it was unlikely that he was going to be able to get back. But I would not be surprised if he's back in the next game or two. Kobe, I think, just tweaked his neck at some point. After last game, he was kind of walking around like he couldn't really move it too much, and he was saying it was stiff. And so they probably were just trying to get that resolved before sending him back out there. But I don't believe that's going to be a long-term thing either.
I did have a
Yeah, no, go for
it.
it.
Done?
Yeah.
I'm curious to get your thoughts on, we've seen the last 2 games, very, in my opinion, aggressive first quarters for Patrick Williams. And then I don't even really know how to, it just seems like he disappears. What is your take of what's going on, of where he is? Is there any talk in the locker room? Have the coaches addressed it? I know people are getting tired of talking about it, but I was at the game today, and I loved, that attack on the basket. He had 2 steals early. And then all of a sudden, I even made a point of taking, unfortunately now Matt Peck has got me focusing on his first quarter stats. I took a picture of, his stats at the end of the first quarter, and now I look at the overall stats, and I'm like, God, what happened? I mean, it's just, where's the, what did he play, 18 minutes in the first half, I think?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what happens after that first quarter?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a bit of a mystery to everyone at this point. They do seem to be making an emphasis to try to get him touches early on in the game, and I think that can engage him. It's kind of like, the traditional, give your first possession to the big and let him post up to involve him in the game. But when Patrick's missing shots, I think he can get in his head a little bit and start to lose that aggression. So as I've always said with him, his production should not be measured, in my opinion, by whether or not his threes go in, because we know he's, a 40% 3-point shooter on his career. We know that that's a good shot for him, but it's what else can he do that's providing value? And you saw the rebounds, you saw the transition in the first quarter. And to your point, Will, I think that for whatever reason, it just kind of dissipated. And I think that, again, comes back to this idea of what are you really trying to accomplish here? Are you trying to put Patrick in a position to grow and develop with the ball in his hands, or are you trying to win games? Because you can't do both of those things at the same time. And I think that's the challenge that the Bulls find themselves in, just in terms of their direction and how they want to approach player development. I think you could say the same thing for Modest. He had an 8-minute stint in the second quarter. He finished with 12 minutes. It's difficult for, I think, younger players to grow when you're not, seeing opportunities, learning from it, and then getting a chance to correct yourself in the next moment. And I also don't necessarily think just gifting them 30 minutes a game is the best approach either, right? If you just let them go out there and they know they don't have to learn from their mistakes, they're still going to get minutes. That's probably not the best approach either, but maybe there's a middle ground that they can find that would help some of those guys, where it's Patrick has an opportunity to be, playing more with the ball in his hands. And I think he can do that in this system. I think a lot of it's on him to be able to just find the right matchups and, read the game in a way where he can get a rebound and push the ball up the floor and make a play. And we've seen that. But if he doesn't get the ball on the rebound, what is he doing outside of just spacing the floor? And I think he had fun with DeRozan just in terms of trying to go at him a little bit. But yeah, I agree. I mean, there needs to be more.
Those grab and go rebounds for Pat. And Will talking about his first quarter or first half stats. At halftime, Pat had 5, 5, and 3. He finished with 8, 5, and 5. So second half, 0 rebounds, 3 points, 2 dimes. A familiar script for Patrick Williams. Goat, we appreciate the time as always, buddy. Bulls Nation, make sure you follow him, Will_Gottlieb for his reporting. Read his stuff, allchgo.com. Great work. Get home safe. We will talk to you around the corner, my bud.
All right, guys. Take care.
Would not dine and dash. You hear that, Uncle
Katie,
Will?
hey!
Would not.
Why does this always happen to me?
Before we go to take the second break real quick, Katie, can we get an update on this poll? I see we got like over 80 votes. Would you or have you not dined and dashed in your career?
It is
in your career, in your life.
No is easily winning right now. Like
okay, but like
86%.
what's the percentage on yes? I'm curious.
Yeah, Matt needs to scold people.
I need to scold
14%.
the 14% of you in this chat who said yes. A, kudos for fessing up. Honesty counts for something
Here
in this
comes
life.
the belt.
B, shame on you. Shame. Shame. Shame.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Game of Thrones.
Let's go to break.
Let's go to break. We'll come back to wrap things up.
Katie, what time is it?
Game time hoop.
I like because she laid back to relax like, I did something. Oh, God. The focus is real. And everybody saw you. Hi, Katie. Hi. She's adorable. Oh, just a scamp. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets easier than ever for all your events. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Curation makes it easier to find better value for tickets to sports, concert, comedy, theater. Katie's one-woman show, you just got a preview of it. Stay tuned. And, of course, the all-in pricing. And, of course, the lowest price guarantee. And, of course, they got that Game Time ticket coverage, which comes with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. But, of course, they've got the Matt Peck and Big Day favorite, the seat views. We need to know where we sitting, where we stretching them legs out at, man. Where is the bathroom? Where are the exits? How do we get out of here? How do we stay in here? How drunk can we be when we're in here? Because I need to know where I can get the drinks at.
What is a horseshoe? What does a horseshoe do?
Shout out to the seat.
Are there any horse socks?
Take the guesswork out of buying those tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app today, create an account, and use that code CHGO. Get yourself $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Terms apply. That's CHGO. Get yourself $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Terms apply. Download Game Time today. Because Matt Peck. What's up with it? Game Time.
Today's postgame also brought to you by Saturday Neon. Saturday Neon was started by 2 college friends, and they make officially licensed collegiate logo LED neon signs, perfect for your home office, your dorm room, your fan cave, or your bar.
All of it.
Check out their new Essentials collection featuring almost 50 of the biggest schools across the country and counting for only $75. That's an incredible deal. No better way to represent your favorite Big Ten team. Unlike traditional neon, these LED signs won't break or shatter, but still give you that classic uniform glow that you know and love and you want from your neon signs. LEDs last up to 100,000 hours, so you'll be enjoying your signs for years to come.
What?
Far long after I am gone. Super easy to install using the provided hardware or with 3M command strips. They're also low voltage, which means they don't get hot and are always safe to the touch. The perfect gift for anybody's birthday or a perfect gift for treat yourself day.
Treat yourself.
CHGO has our very own CHGO custom Saturday Neon.
It's back
hanging
there.
out in our set. And they look great. I love them. So if you head to SaturdayNeon.com, that's spelled Neon, by the way, SaturdayNeon.com, use promo code CHGO at checkout, and you will get 10% off your order on your new neon sign. SaturdayNeon.com.
I see it. Hey, more likes.
Katie would like more likes. Somebody pointed out that there were more people who voted in the poll than those of you who have hit the like button. Unacceptable. Don't make me.
What?
I will.
You will toss those hats.
I will turn this car around.
Oh, man. Luke, don't make her bring out
We-
Troll
we
Joe.
will set-
There
we
he
will-
is. He brought
we
her out.
We will send Troll Joe after you.
I do know who we. Unless you have something to do, I do know something.
No. I was just gonna
Somebody
hop
need
into
to
the
bring
chat. What do you want to do?
I want to bring it. My main man over there, sitting there looking all smooth and cool. My main man, all the way from Australia over there.
It's a shame they didn't get a dub because I know who the good tonight would have
you
been.
know who Goon Tonight was gonna be. Come on in here, sir. That's my main man, Caitlin Cox is up in
Hey,
here.
come on in, travelers. Here, take my seat.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
How are you?
Oh, have yourself a sit on down. How are you, sir?
Good, thank you.
Here's a microphone for you.
Thank you.
How's life?
Yeah, good. Can't
I see
complain.
people in the chat were actually, very excited to see you, man.
Oh, no,
there was a
that's
super chat
terrifying.
in here for him, wasn't it, Katie? Show him that super chat, man, because that man was up in here right there.
Billy Nicholson, yeah.
Yes, Billy Nicholson right there. Shout out. Big Red, the king in the building. Shout out Billy to him, man. Dude, your first time here?
First time in Chicago, yes.
Okay, tell us about your experience coming to this Bulls game. Sir.
So far, loving Chicago.
Okay.
We just came from New York.
Mhm.
People there are very rude. We do not like the people in New York. Came to Chicago, making friends everywhere we go. I'm loving it. The game tonight was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Zach LaVine is very good at basketball.
That's
Where
what I've
were
heard.
your, where were your seats?
We're in the 233 tonight.
233.
Okay.
We planned this week. We've got 3 more games to go to. 2 more games to go to.
Two more to go
So
to.
you're going Tuesday, Wednesday,
We're going to Hawks.
right? That's
and
Wednesday.
Hornets.
Hawks and
you're-
Hornets, right,
so
right,
you're-
right.
And the Pelicans, if anyone has any recommendations for a bar, I want to be very drunk watching that.
Man, it's cool, but now you know Will Perdue.
I know. I just said to my partner when we walked in, I was like, that's Will Perdue.
It's an amazing human being, man. Dude, so you traveled a lot to
Yes.
get here, man. Was this all just to get to Chicago, or you just hanging
Yes,
out? in other cities?
the whole holiday is based around this week.
Okay.
So we went to Los Angeles,
Mhm.
then we went to Vegas, and then New York, and now we're here.
Okay.
So how long have you actually been in the States?
About 3 weeks.
About 3 weeks. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
How long did you plan this out?
Whenever the schedule got released, we basically started booking the week after.
Mhm.
Yeah, we needed to find a week where.
So
there's
that's like
multiple games.
back in August of 2024.
Yeah. Correct.
Oh man, you weren't playing around.
No, we knew exactly what we wanted to do. So
Yes.
I've been trying to do this for about 5 years, and
Mhm.
just need to get the money together and get it all sorted. So
And here it is,
here
man.
we are.
And I
So
told you
then
to get
I'm-
you on this set.
I'm
Yes.
curious, what is it that you do that you can take 3-4 weeks off? Or are you
Dang,
working
Will.
on the road?
Hold on, Will.
Jesus, Will.
Dang, Will. You gotta
Come on,
get
guys.
You can't
I
ask
need to
about
get
his
that
life.
job.
No. Unfortunately, I don't do anything exciting. I'm a wood machinist.
Mm-hmm.
So I make floorboards, architraves, and I just run machines.
What was
all
the
day.
second one? You make.
Architraves,
What is that?
floorboards, like your skirting boards around your roof.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Floor and stuff. Yeah,
We can use
all
that.
timber. Mark K, actually, he does wood machines.
He does do
Yeah.
woodwork. Does wonderful
Yeah, shout out
woodwork.
Mark K from
Shout
Melbourne
out.
as well. We need to hook up. So,
Yes.
Oh, there
Yes,
you
Mark
go.
K. Yes.
Yeah.
He does go, bro. What's going on, man?
But no, so the whole manufacturing industry closes down over summer in Australia.
Oh,
So
okay.
That's why I got the month off.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Feel better now, Will? You good?
Oh, no. I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah. Not bad at all. It's not bad
I
at
mean,
all.
I like the fact that he's, he planned this out.
Yeah.
He's basically hit all the big markets,
Mhm.
right? What'd you think about Vegas? Did
Vegas
it
was
live up
fun.
to the billing?
Vegas was fun. Dangerous.
Dangerous. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah, we
All right.
survived. We survived. So,
Did you win money?
no, didn't win any. Lost all our money.
And that's the dangerous part.
Yeah, I got my partner kicked out of the bar.
You got to. She said, "That's me."
We drink differently in Australia, so
Okay.
Yeah, we drink until we can't walk, and then they don't like that. So.
That's. I don't know if you knew that, but that's also an
Yeah,
American
no.
custom as well. It's a thing.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. That sounds real. So, what led you to start listening to CHGO Bulls, man? Because you and I talking, you talking about how you've been just a big fan.
So
of the pod.
I have been listening for years because in Australia your games are around lunchtime for us. So I listen at work. I've got a set of headphones. So I listen.
Yeah.
I listen to NBA podcasts basically all day long.
Mm.
Anything that keeps me up to date with the Bulls. And thankfully, you idiots work non-stop.
Non-stop.
And so even,
Non-stop.
even in
It is ridiculous. It's
in
ridiculous.
in the off season, you guys are doing like 5 days a week.
This
so
is true.
I need that because no one else is producing. So
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I found you guys. I would have been listening to you guys on Locked On.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh man. Right on, bro.
That's when I started taking like basketball fairly seriously.
Yes, sir.
And you would have been one of my first podcasts I listened to.
Oh man, I appreciate
So
that.
then how did
man.
you become a Bulls fan in Australia?
Luke
Longley?
No, Derrick Rose.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Nothing to do with Australia, really. Just started to enjoy the NBA, wanted to watch the games, and you had to pick, a team. I don't have any allegiance, and Derrick Rose was killing it. So I was like, well, that's my guy.
Yeah.
And stayed with the Bulls.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Is your partner a Bulls fan
Yeah,
too?
that's she is now.
She is now?
Yeah.
Made you? Okay, he made you a Bulls fan?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you hear him doing a lot of yelling and crying? We're good? Okay.
She yells and
All right.
cries with me now, so it's good.
That's cool, man. So, dude, like you have more time here. You're gonna hang out here, go to a couple more games.
Yep.
Anything around? Have you been to Portillo's? I mean, you talked about that.
Not yet. No, there's not one near our hotel, so we've got to find one.
Oh man, we gonna get some Portillo's, man.
Yeah, so any other recommendations, let me know, because I think we're going to Pequods.
Pequods, have
Yep.
you been?
Yeah, we're going to go there.
Got to get Pequods, yeah. A lot of food we got to get because if we do anything right, it's gonna be food.
Yeah,
that we
it
do
looks
right
like
in the
it.
city.
It looks
man.
like it, honestly.
Yes. Look at me in the test. This is true. This is how we roll, man. Well, dude, thank you for coming, man. Thank you for being here.
So I did have
We're
a
gonna
question.
talk some more.
Yes.
How is the Australian Basketball League? Because, I mean, there's been a big push to increase the talent.
Yeah, so honestly, the talent's got way better.
Okay.
The product has got way better, and it's going a good way. The only bad thing I'll say about the NBL is like they're struggling. They must be struggling for money because there's just sponsors all over the court.
Okay.
Right.
And so it's like an eyesore to watch.
Okay. All right.
But the players are good, and and they're always getting better. So I think it's gonna be good.
How many? So I don't know the answer. That's why I'm asking. I know there's a couple guys, but do you know the exact number of guys that have been through Australia that are in the league?
I don't know the exact number.
You got an idea?
I'm thinking like 5 or 6 off the top of my head.
Okay.
Because there was the one kid that didn't go to college and went over to Australia and played.
Yep.
Okay.
And then he came. I can't remember who it was. He came in. He's in the league.
Yep.
Because he chose to go over there instead. Because you got to be 1 year out of high school.
Yes. Correct. Got to have one.
And he chose Australia over going to Europe.
Okay.
Well, LaMelo did that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Melo did that, but there was another one.
Okay.
But yeah, we have they have the Next Stars program at the moment. So they're looking for young kids from all around the world. Teams can import, I think, 2 of them. So you can have 2 imports, and so that's going to be the path for a lot of people, I think. So.
Somebody in the chat asked, "Are you a Giddy fan?"
That was gonna be my next question.
My girlfriend is.
Oh,
Stay away, Josh Giddey. No, I don't mind Josh Giddey. Yeah, and he's from Melbourne, so we like him.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't want to pay him $30 million if that's what you're asking.
Bingo! Ding 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 ding.
I didn't ask that, but okay.
But if we could get him like, I don't know, 23, 24, I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds. See, knows what he's talking about. Man. We got it, man. Dude, thanks for being here,
No worries.
hanging out with us, man. We're gonna
worries.
talk
Matt,
after
you
the
can come
show.
up, you can
Absolutely.
Thank you.
That's cool, man. Shout out that guy, Caleb. Big Red. Big Red. Let's go.
Oh, man.
Let's go, man. Always
man.
good to have another big dude on the show, bro.
Always
good, man. It's always
Also,
a good feeling.
I love it when people who travel from far away to Chicago for the sake of being Bulls fans and going to Bulls games and making a trip of it. Also, we're like, hell yeah, I want to come by and say what's up to CHGO.
Yeah,
It's dope. It's really dope.
it's really dope, man. It's a cool thing, bro.
Let's knock out some super chats and then get out of here. Yeah, Katie?
Slap him in the face.
We already got the one for Billy Nicholson, who also then added another super chat saying, what a good-looking bloke. I agree. Very handsome. Lars with a super chat, $4.99, saying prediction, we get Lucky, keep the pick, but we draft Ace Bailey and have 2 Patrick Williamses now. Wow.
Oh, please.
So I guess Lars is not in the camp of those who favor Ace Bailey over, say, Cooper Flagg or
Ace
Dylan
Bailey
Harper.
won't be available when the Bulls pick.
Yeah, man. Ace Bailey's too cold, bro.
Who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky, Will.
That's
Maybe
what he's
we'll
talking
get
about. He's
lucky.
talking about that luck. Like,
4%.
Hey,
like
man.
2. We did it on 1.
Did it on less than 2% for Derek.
Did it on 1, man.
Doesn't mean we can't try a little harder, AK.
A little more effort.
Pick up the phone.
8 of them.
And oh, look at this. Prison Mike has turned into Date Mike with a super chat.
I love a rebrand.
New year, new me. Hey guys, I'm Date Mike. Wait, can you put that one back up?
But hold on a second. Is he dating in prison? Is that what he's saying?
I guess he could still be Prison Mike. And now also, although Prison Mike, when we meet him in the show, has been out of prison. Or is he? I don't know.
I thought he was out.
Yeah, he's not currently
He served his time, and then he's out.
Yeah.
That said, strong effort, but New Year's same Bulls. 3 games under 500 and 10th. Yippee. This is how we do.
This is how we do.
This is how it works.
How we roll.
I mean, easiest money in the world.
Yeah, 3 games, man.
I think I saw somebody in the comments earlier like, oh, yeah, Peck, you were maybe sweating that fourth quarter back and forth and when the Bulls were up.
No, he was comfortable.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how we were going to get there.
Yeah.
We got there.
And also, aren't you think you're 2-0 in Purdue bets right now, right?
I believe so.
Because the other one you had to get your dinner for.
Yeah, and this was just a bragging right.
Right, it's bragging rights, but still undefeated.
Which, dinners are delicious.
Yes.
We all know the thing.
Being right.
It's more delicious than free dinner? Being right.
Being right is what he craves.
Maybe it's intentional.
Maybe Will's trying to pump you up there.
Maybe.
It's working.
That's going to do it for today. Shout out to our visitors who came by the studio. Much love. Shout out to all of you for hanging out with us today. Shout out for participating in the poll. Shout out to those of you who have never dined and dashed, who would never do such a thing.
85%.
85% is the final no tally.
Correct.
Shame on 15% of you. Shame on you.
I'm still cool with y'all, but yeah, do better.
I'm not.
That's about right.
I can't believe you did that, Will.
he's
Oh,
heartbroken.
man. I was like all of 16 years
Never
old.
meet your heroes, y'all. Never meet your heroes. Bulls are off tomorrow. We are off tomorrow before the Bulls have a back-to-back set Tuesday, Wednesday.
Wait a
starting.
minute. Make sure the guy that said you guys are always working understands you ain't going to be here tomorrow.
I said none of us work except Katie.
You know what? There's one more thing I want to say while we're on this show. Okay. Will looked at him and said, "Oh, I want that job," as if Will can't do whatever he wants. Will could literally do whatever he wants at any time.
Grass is always greener. That's how he looks at it.
I think
Grass
so.
is always greener.
I think so. So, yes, we will be back Tuesday for pregame before Bulls Pelicans. Bulls homestand continues. Pelicans come to town. Hopefully Zion plays.
Yes.
Did you see that 360 dunk he had in the game the other night?
Because we never saw him again after it happened.
Woo! I want to see Zion.
Yes.
Bulls Zion trade?
Bulls Zion trade.
Bulls Zion trade?
No.
What?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
We will discuss.
6:30
You think the
pregame
Bulls
Tuesday
would be
night.
better with him?
We're not worried about better.
It's not about better. It's
Not
about different.
better. Yeah.
Hamster on a wheel either way, Will.
Shout out Australia.
Shout out to Australia. Make sure you follow the GOAT, Will _ Gottlieb.
Last
Uncle
question.
Will,
So
Will _ Perdue 32. Last question.
We'll give you a third chance.
Okay.
First of all, does today's game count as this week?
No.
So this is the last day of last week.
Correct.
Okay. Monday is always the first day of the week in your book. Okay, got it. So we got 3 games. What will they be at the end of this week? Upcoming week. You got the Pelicans at home. Or all of them at home. So you got Pelicans, Hawks, your lovely Hornets.
Ooh, yummy.
You want to answer now or you want to answer
No, I want an answer now.
Answer right now?
Now, damn it.
18 and 21.
That's why
so
you
they will be 20 and 22.
So you're saying they're going to go 2-1.
That would be my guess, which would put them at 2 under, which they're sometimes allowed to be.
Which game did they lose? Sultan.
Second night of the back-to-back? Maybe.
I don't know. They always play well against the Hawks.
They do.
They do.
So that means they're due for a loss against them.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. Screw the Packers. I saw that they just put up a touchdown. Let's hope that they do not win that game. And we'll talk to y'all Tuesday pregame, 6:30. Shout out to Katie, Queen of the Controls. Uncle Will, Big Dave, Peck. Thanks for tuning in. See you, be good.
Love y'all.
We all silly like the mayor.